Welcome to Tamara Tattletales. I'm Tamara, and I spill the tea on your favorite reality stars. Every time I think I can close the book on season 12 of Married at First Sight, someone starts cutting up and I gotta talk about it. This time, Virginia went after Jacob like ridiculous. Let me give you some backstory on their situation as I understand it. The Married at First Sight season 13 kickoff show, Jacob saw the trailer for this episode, which featured a clip of Haley saying she couldn't run away fast enough. So Jacob went on Instagram and wrote something to the effect of, "So much for me being nice on interviews, maybe I should spill some tea of my own." So shortly after that, he goes live on Instagram. Well, Virginia hops on out of nowhere and starts berating Jacob in the comments section. Then people in the comments started attacking her. Here are some screenshots of Virginia's comments, courtesy of MAFS fan. "I'm not fake like you and the other guys from the show and will do anything to protect my friend. I'm late to the convo, but circling back to the Haley shit, it's hilarious that you want to sit there and talk as if we don't all know that you said the creepiest shit any of us had ever heard to her. Hi, not stopping until he does. You're welcome for tripling your viewers. Literally begging for sex. There's 58 pepper watching this, but I'm the trailer trash? LOL, I'm watching to stand up for my friend, and he needs to watch his fucking mouth about her before receipts get shown. People, not pepper, haha." And commenting on every MAFS fan post for what? To be relevant because you aren't. That she didn't like you or your dick? Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's the truth. LOL, I'm a child, except I just put my nephews to bed and I'm sitting on a couch, sober, livid about this man speaking lies about my best friend. I don't know what Virginia thought she was going to accomplish by going this hard against Jacob, but all it did was make her look bad. She demonstrated what a nasty, immature, petty, mean girl she could be. So anyway, the following day, Jacob recorded this video.
All right, people. So I just wanted to clear the air here, just to be very specific. This whole little drama escapade actually started there was a trailer for the next episode, right? Actually, that's airing tonight. So there's a trailer and like Haley's cackling and talking about how she couldn't run fast enough out of somewhere. And so I commented saying, well, gee, I guess we're gonna need full context, but maybe I shouldn't be as nice when I do interviews, or maybe I should spill some tea of my own, right? Since she's gonna go on TV and just basically try to talk guff or like humiliate me again on national television, or try to, right? And so I made that comment on Instagram, and then as a result, they see it, and Virginia proceeds to be a proxy for Haley, try to tell me that I need to shut my mouth and I shouldn't be talking about Haley at all and to move on and all these things. And it's like, well, I don't talk about Haley at all, except I do answer some questions on lives, because that's how life works. When you're on a show, you get to ask questions about the show, and I'm going to give my perspective sometimes on those questions depending on what they are. And also, you know, this proxy telling me to shut my mouth, and it's like basically like threatening me with all the girls won't like me or won't talk to me after. And it's like, okay, like, look, I had very shitty experience with Haley. I'm sure she feels the same way. I should be able to talk about that and tell the truth without offending anybody. And if that offends them in some sort of way where they don't want to talk with me, then hey, sorry. Like, but I'm not going to like not give my perspective on things that I'm allowed to give my perspective on because somebody else doesn't like it. I'm on the live and I happen to get these questions again, and some of them are the more insulting things that she had brought up on national television to try and humiliate me. After the fact, right, we're at the reunion and she's talking about how like it was the sex, right, that had her shut down and that she was done, that she just couldn't connect, right? It was all those things in the snickering. So somebody had mentioned that, and then I talked a little bit about that with my perspective, and of course I think that was too much for them, although it's like, you're the one dogging me on national TV, like, okay. And again, the real story behind that whole thing, I'm not going to get into details, but it's not what people probably think. It's much more less eventful, and just it just wasn't good all around, and it wasn't for her either, or for me, and that's just what it is. So but I'm not gonna like really play tit for tat with that in particular, but I do want to be able to speak my mind and talk about things, right, that I'm allowed to talk about. So I do feel like it's, I don't know, like then, I guess Virginia feels a certain way about it, right? Comes in wanting to get on the live and probably just, I guess, yell at me or talk over me or whatever. And I'm not really interested in that. And the way she was typing, it didn't seem like she was in a good place to be actually discussing anything, much less in a live stream. So wasn't interested, didn't do it. But then she just proceeds to keep going, right, with all this stuff and like essentially like trying to blackmail me into silence somehow with some text messages, which I think that's a bad thing to do if you're an influencer. I don't think you should be publicly blackmailing people and threatening to like release things. I don't think that's a good thing for blue check marks, but I could be wrong. But anyway, then talks about how I have the lowest follower count out of MAFS and like all these things, just insulting me left and right. It's like, I don't go after and insult Haley. I never initiate conversation about Haley, okay? So let's just get that straight. And I wish her the best, honestly. I don't like her as a person. Together we were very bad. But I don't wish her ill will. I hope she finds her person, gets her shit together, and lives a happy life. Like, that's as far as I'm concerned. But if I go on a live stream and I get 20 questions about something, and then somebody asks me something specific that was pretty insulting to me, I try to set the record straight. I don't see a big deal with me answering a question or two on a live stream in regards to some of the more insulting things she said about me on national television. So if you really have a problem with that, I think you should probably stop enabling her and just say, look, you probably shouldn't have said that. It's a big deal if he says it on a live stream to 50 people or 100 people, right, whatever it was. And instead, right, you blow up, go nuclear, do this thing, and now it's what? All over the place. Everybody's talking about it, and gee, it's a huge mess, right? So, and I'm not interested in this shit. Like, I don't want to like be going back and forth about like this stuff and talking about these things. It's just not interesting to me. Like, I was talking about Eddie Murphy and The Golden Child and how great he was and improvising on that role and how fucking funny. And he was like, I want the knife. And then Virginia comes in with these heaters, like talking all this massive shit out of nowhere. And I did reference how, she was trying to like silence me essentially earlier too. So maybe that got her goat, but it's the truth. And then it's like weird threatening me with like a blackmail type thing with these text messages. Like, do you know? That blew me away. It's like, do you always blackmail people publicly, or just do that privately usually? I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know. But you know what? Like, I'm not trying to make enemies in the cast and all that stuff. It's a fuck. Look, our season, I think, is agreed upon probably one of the worst seasons or whatever. Like, that's the consensus online. It's enough of a shit show. I don't really want to be going back and forth with these people who are talking about this stuff. So that's all that is. I guess either deal with it or don't. Block me. Live your life. Nobody's gonna care in like a day or two. Like, people's attention spans, they just flutter. Like, nobody's gonna care. Just move on. Like, I don't care. Talk about me. Say what you want. I don't care.
Meantime, in the comments of MAFS fans' screenshots, Jake added this message. Here's a thought. If I do a live and get 20 questions involving the circus Haley helped create, I was certainly not a victim. Eventually, I may give a known comment as a response. It was my experience on reality TV, which obviously fans will ask about. The amount of bullshit I overlooked and hid off camera during filming is likely why the Brat Pack is so concerned about me commenting. Side note, I do not care what they say, and they are free to comment on their experience. Haley made the sex stuff an issue on national television at the reunion again, and now I get asked about it often. What in the hell do I owe someone who tries to publicly humiliate me on national television over and over? Not a damn thing, and Virginia doing this just magnified it by 100. So great job there. Don't create the issues and get big mad if I comment. Perhaps if she was so concerned about what I might say, she shouldn't have been shady and played games for 8 weeks and just asked for a divorce like an adult week 2. I did not bring this stuff up. I got asked several times about stuff, and eventually I have some general answers. That's life. Well, you know who could not resist and had to add his 2 cents. The only time I agree with Virginia. Jake is weird as fuck. He tried to speak on my ish, and we all know the truth. He got real good editing, but Jake is really an asshole. He completely disrespected all of the producers at the bachelor party, Which why after we met each other's spouses and they asked me about Jake, I said Haley would have her hands full. Jake cursed out the producers so bad at the bachelor party, I thought they would kick him off the show, but no. Jake is a failed bodybuilder. Put a shirt on, sir. Only women that want you are the cougars from the 80s. The part I don't agree with is all the other guys are fake. Don't confuse us with your man and yourself. Y'all started filming couple cam after the court filings say y'all broke up, lol. After April, I ain't mad. Y'all got paid $5K a piece per episode, lol. I would have faked it too. Of course, fans were all over these comments, so Jake decided to chime in. I didn't. I got snippy for a few reasons, but it's not what the sandwich artist is making it out to be. Essentially, I was given an incorrect form and had to disinvite 13 people from the wedding that night during the bachelor party, including people that had booked flights. So I was obviously upset, and they poked at that for a minute, and I gave a snippy reply or two. But believe me, if I acted crazy like bless sloppy ass, you'd have seen it on TV.